Alrighty, let's get started. First thing up, this is very important. I need you to like or dislike this video and comment below. Let's get to it. Yabba dabba do. How it do? All right. So this is this is year 2, week 10 of my RobinHood portfolio review. Dealing mainly with YieldMax funds, Round Hill, Bitwise, various other funds. I don't think I've dabbled too much into other funds just yet. We used to do Defiance back in the day, uh, but it just was they was reverse splitting over there like crazy for a period of time. And I'm sure all these funds with time will get better. Um, but anyway, I'm here for the highest yield. I'm not necessarily concerned about the NAV erosion. As some of you are, and I understand there. But mainly my thing is once I invest. Now you have to understand I've been investing probably I would say around the GameStop situation. That's when I decided to start seeking out dividends as a means of having another stream of income. My thought process was, man, if I could have just $500 extra a month, that would make a significant difference. Having just knowing you got $500 handy coming in every month, and so I began dabbling into dividends. Um, and I also got into I got in. My intentions were to get into GameStop when it had its short squeeze. Some of you all may not know I am an ape. For those that don't know, the GME short squeeze and the potential for AMC to have had a short squeeze. Matter of fact, AMC has its earnings tomorrow. I don't know if it's before the market or after the market. I can't remember. But anyway, so I got into dividends probably or investing. Start and put it this way, I was in it probably before then, but I didn't start taking it serious and probably around 2018. And I was actually talking to a lady at the time, or had just started talking with the lady at the time, and I was like, man, I can't really invest like I want to because this is a distraction. So I couldn't really give the relationship the time. Well, it was long distance anyway, so it probably it wasn't going to probably go anywhere. But I was going to put all the effort into it. But anyway, um, I realized, man, one of these gotta go. And I didn't decide. It just eventually went that way. And so, but I did start to mention investing to her, and that hey, this is another means of having passive income. And she started investing. She said she can't handle the emotional pull and tug that it does, so she would not look at her portfolio. I don't know what she's doing to this day because it's been some time since we've spoken. But anyway, that's enough. All right, so yeah, I got back into. I started taking investing seriously as I could. I wasn't very knowledgeable, but um, around 2018, and a coworker of mine's and put me on to Chris Sane, and that really started the the psychological and knowledge part of the investing. Really starting to see it. I mean, I knew it was there, but I didn't know where to find the information. I was looking, I was throwing stuff against the wall to see what would stick, and and this sort of gave me some guidance, you know. So, but anyway, let's get to it. I keep saying that, but AMC, I am an ape, and I am a big heavy investor into AMC still to this day. I have not sold any of my shares. Uh, and I actually plan to, when I get to a certain point with these dividends and it's getting a certain amount of cash flow, to continue to up my position in AMC. I have a very large position in AMC, and I am down probably 80% in that position. All right. Let me quit running my mouth. All right. So yes, you can see it's $49,225, right? It's showing that we are up right now, $3,358. Why are we running up? Come on, y'all. This is ridiculous. Y'all should be upset seeing that we're up, running up in the pre-market. Now, this is no guarantee it's going to be like that way when the market open, but it's good to get a little upside in the green, give us some breathing, cool off this burn down. All right. So live, we are down $285. For the week, we are down $14,206 for 22%. And of course, the market pulled back. So, and I got dividends. So we was probably down probably close to 20,000 or more, in my estimation. Because on that what was it here? It shows in the past week it was here. So yes. So I told you on that short video at it was 10:21, right? And I think that was the timestamp I took the actual photo. But I think it was 8 something that morning. I don't remember which short video it was. But anyway, it was down at 33,000. I think that's the lowest I saw the past week. It was at 33,000. Um, so that's with Robinhood. It doesn't see. I can't go back and say, okay, I can show you the 33,000. It's a good thing I have it documented in one of the short YouTube shorts, so you can go back and watch that and see the date and timestamp. Sometimes I'll be talking in those videos, and sometimes my information is not accurate because when I realize and I watch the video, yes, the timestamp was 10:31 when I took the photo, but the actual timestamp that I was showing in the configuration was around 8:30, I think, or 8:33, and my value was at 33,000. All right, moving along. For the month, we are down $25,334, almost 34%. And for the past 3 months, we're down 15,806. For year to date, we're up $73.73. Okay. For the past year, we're down 4,786. And all time, we are up $15,429. All right. So our buying power is at $1,741.18. As you can see here, our available margins at 115,796. Our margin used is at 142,055. Now, when I sold my Palantir, it brought it, if I'm not mistaken, if you go back and watch that video after I sold it, which shows Palantir and profit, I think it is. Let's see here. That video is going to be, it's a short, right? So that short video, make sure I got my volume turned up here. All right. All right. So that short video is the one that says $16,735 in profit for Palantir. All right. So when I sold Palantir, that video should show that this margin was down to 92,000. All right. So had I stayed there and just stood still and not made any purchase, I do not believe that I would have been anywhere near a margin call. I would have been perfectly good, I think. Um, so what changed is I bought 400 shares of Coney after I sold. I bought an additional 800 shares of ICOI, and then I bought another $10,000 worth of Palantir again. So, and then last week happened. So that was not a good timing. All right. So had I been still and waited, I potentially would have had some buying power and could have bought the dips on some of these positions. All right. So my account margin status says high risk because, as you can see here, I only have a buffer $24.35. All right. All right. So let's get to our position. We'll go over um, dividends that we had for this past week. View our Charles Schwab account. I have a new website that I want to show you for the top dividend ETF that some of you may like. I saw it on the Twitter, and so I'm going to share it with you all. We'll hit our Divi tracker, Snowball Analytics, Q&A, and we'll get out of here. All right. Let's see if we can beat last week. All right. All right. The first position is 22nd Century. This is a position I didn't listen to, should have never got in. Um, and I went against what I knew to do and got in here, and I'm holding this negative $1,000. All right. So I haven't sold it. Um, so there's only about $200 in market value here. So I hadn't sold it because I don't want to take this loss. Now, if, yeah. All right. Next up is I missed from Bitwise is at $22.40. We still only have one share, so we never did double up on that position. But the market value is $22.40. We're down $27.83 for one share. Average cost 50.23. All right, let's check out our dividend for that position. One share 289, and we got 289. Next, we got Bitwise Mara, $27.11. Our market value is at $1,626. We're down $896.28 for an average cost of $42.05 for 60 shares. All right, our dividends for that was 60 shares at $3.01 for $180.75. All right, next we got AIYY 219. Our market value is $437. We're down $476. Average cost is $457 for 200 shares. All right, our dividends for this position, 200 shares at 0.0301 for $6.02. Next, we have SoFi. One of the positions that I want to get in, as you probably have heard in the prior videos, for those here for the first time, this is a position. Before this week, I thought I was going to drop about 5 or 10K in this position. Once I got my dividends for this month of November, I'm hoping I can still get SoFi around this price, maybe 27, 28, no more than $30, $31. So this position and Netflix, I think those is this position. Some of you have mentioned BM what is it? Bitminer, BMNR. Oops, BMNR. Yeah, Bitmine. Uh, one that's ran by Tommy Lee. So this one so far on Netflix and Weeble. I think those are three that I'm interested in. But this one and for long-term position and to sell to make some profit, get back in later on, see it run up. And Netflix because they're doing a 10-for-1 split for those that still hadn't found that out. But anyway, SoFi is 29.09, is up 88 cents in the overnight market. Market value is at 727. We're up $222. Average cost of 2018 for 25 shares. All right, next we got YieldMax 1152. We're up 17 cents at the overnight market. Market value is 576. Total return is a negative $203. Average cost is 15.59 for 50 shares. Our dividend payout was 50 shares for 17.43, which was $8.72. All right. Next, we got Bitwise, $8.32. All right. Our market value is at $515. We're down $360. Average cost is $14.13 for 62 shares. All right. Our dividends for this position was 62 shares at 0.0727 for $4.51. Next, we got Supermicro Computer, $41.42. It's up $1.66 in the overnight market. SMCI, all right, our market value is $2,071. We're down $859 for average cost of $58.61 for 50 shares. All right. All right. So what's this? July the 31st. Hold on here. What's going on? SMC. It's in I bought some on July 31st. So where's my dividend history at? Let's look at this again. Maybe I went too far. Not get my dividends? Oh, I'm sorry. This is not a dividend position. I'm sorry. This is an actual underlying stock. Okay. All right. Anyway, so we're moving on. Sorry about that. SMCY. Okay. SMCI is the underlining. SMCY, they do cover calls on SMCI. All right. So it's $11.89, 40 up 44 cents in the overnight market. The market value is $1,664. We're down $1,944. Average cost is $25.78 for 140 shares. All right. We have 140 shares and we got dividends of 0.3329. That was $46.61. Next, we have Tesla, $8.21 right now, up 22 cents in the overnight market. Market value is $1,477. We're down $633. Our average cost is $11.73 for 180 shares. All right. So 180 shares at 0.147 gave us $26.46. Next, we have Hui of YieldMax, $62.33. It's up $2.29. Oh, Hood is another position. Hood is another position I would like to get into. So there's those three. It's Hood, SoFi, Netflix. Any other y'all can think of? I know those three. And y'all probably have mentioned some to me as well. But I know those three. I would like to have a holding position for some growth in about a month or two and then sell. Now, if I didn't have debt and all that, I would just get it, hold it, and keep adding to it on dips. All right. So our market value is $686. We're down $2.98. Average cost is $62.60 for 11 shares. And 11 shares at $1.26 is $13.83. Next, we have Webull, $9.88. It's up 24 cents in the overnight market. We have a market value of $1,976. We're down $1,234. Average cost is $16.05 for 200 shares. This doesn't pay dividends, so we'll keep moving. Next, we have Plate, excuse me. $59.92, $1.93 in the overnight market as it's up. Our market value is $13,781. We're down $1,447. Average cost is $66.21 for 230 shares. All right, so 230 shares at $1.22 is $280.30. Next, we have AMD, $9.27. Market, excuse me, we're up overnight 25 cents, overnight value. Market value $6,303, and we are down $1,836. Average price is $11.97 for 680 shares. All right, 680 shares at 0.1207 is $82.08. Oh, the current time is Eastern time. It is 11:55. Central time, it is 10:55. All right. So, Misty, everybody's favorite. Okay, I'm sorry. It's not everybody's favorite anymore. $9.97 is up 30 cents. All right, the market value is $9,970. I'm down $15,726. All right, somebody pinch me, wake me up. All right, so the average cost is $25.70 for 1,000 shares. All righty. So at 1,000 shares, paid out 0.1688 for $168.80. All right, so yes, I am down $15,726 in Misty. And as you see, my spreadsheet, we're getting close to house money. I wish I had buying power actually to double up on my position in Misty right now. I know some of y'all be like, "Oh, I gotta get out. I'm out of me. I'm out. I'm good." But actually, I'm of probably first of next month, maybe. I'll be just making free money on Misty, so I wouldn't necessarily have to get in there to increase my position because then it'll be making free money for me. But I still want to have a bigger position. All right, next is OT, everybody's least favorite ETF of the YieldMax funds, $4.63. It's up 6 cents in the overnight market. Um, the market value I have is $6,930. We're down $3,662. Average cost is $7.06 for 1,500 shares. So I think this is averaging about $450 to $500 a month for me. All right, well, this 118 ain't showing that, right? So 1,500 shares at 0.0788 is $118.20. So you can see here 135, 127, 118. It's been declining. All right, next, my new favorite position, at least for the last couple of months, right? Bitwise version of Coin or Coney, shall I say, is at $26.78. And our market value is $42,848. We are down $11,470. Our average cost is $33.95, and we have 1,600 shares. Now, had I waited when I sold my Palantir, I don't know if I would have had enough available funds to get it at a lower price. Uh, because seeing that it came down this past week and hit what 24, I think it actually hit 24. But anyway, I would have loved to have gotten it at some of these prices. But anyway, let's see. Oh, we hadn't had a dividend payout for that since. Well, we'll show you what it was. All right, so right here, October the 27th. No, no, no. We bought some more shares. Where is it at? All right. Well, where is it at? Uh, Dividends. Search. All right, here we go. October 28, 800 shares, $3.94 for $3,148. All right. Now, my biggest position um, is Coney of YieldMax. It's $5.86. It's up 20 cents in the overnight market. All right, so our market value is $70,320. We're only down. That's right, I said only down $57,216. Now, some people be like, I probably what back in 2018, I would have been like, oh my God, he's down that. Now that I am been doing this for a while, that doesn't bother me because, like I said, I have AMC. My AMC position is way worse than this. So this doesn't bother me. And I can't remember which YouTuber, if it was Chris or King Grace or Stock with Josh. But anyway, I think it was, I don't know who it was, but somebody, and I've watched a lot of YouTube channels, said that, hey, when you invest, consider it lost. I mean, you know it's not lost, but that's one way to look at it. If you invest your money, if you invest 5,000, that means you basically you should be able to put $5,000 in there and not need that 5,000 for anything like rent, mortgage, or anything like that. And just look at your $5,000 that you're going to invest and invest it. And as soon as you deposit into your brokerage account, consider that money lost. Consider it gone already. Now, you're going to do your due diligence and try to be as smart as and wise investor as possible to make that money grow. That's the ultimate thing is to put the $5,000 to work for you to go make more money. You want your dollar to go bring back another dollar, right? Right? And then you want those $2 to mate with one another and create another dollar. And you want to keep having offsprings and offs. You want to be fruitful and multiply. Ah, yes, fruitful and multiply. All right. So that's what it is. I'm total return. I know some people with this past week, they're in the uproar. You know, the NAV is down. I got to find something that's going to have better NAV erosion. I want to keep my initial capital. That is fine. Everybody investment strategy is fine. My thing is I'm getting a position. I'm building them up. Now, of course, I'm going to rebalance and tweak every now and then, right? So, but right now I'm just building my position total return. I'm not having intentions to sell unless my margin gets so bad and I'm forced to sell. But I don't have any intentions of selling other than maybe strategically rebalancing, going to another position. But I wouldn't, me personally, right now, I'm not willing to sell Coney and take this loss because I do believe that there's going to be some uptick in Coney and with the Bitcoin run and Coinbase in its catalyst. So I'm waiting patiently. But in the meantime, I'm just getting total return or getting my money back, as you say. But I already considered it gone. Now, one thing I got in the bag, I may have in the bag, it may not be me having the bag, is return on capital. I distinctly remember last year my Charles Swap account, I had IWMY, I believe, at the time, and it was my average cost was above the price of the stock. And then at the first of the year, I really wasn't paying attention to the account. When I did check it, my average cost was with the price of the stock. And I was like, how is that possible? I couldn't figure it out. I called Charles Schwab. They looked into it and they said, due to return on capital, a tax type deal, your cost average has been reduced to the price of the stock, right? Now, I don't know if that's going to apply to every position I got. I don't know if every position is going to be reduced. that I'm in, because I don't know what the tax implications are. But if that's the case, come after January 1st, January 3rd, or whatever, the market open, I don't know how long it takes. This price could be reduced, reflecting more so of that and all other positions. I do remember that happened with IWMY, and I do remember that happening with Misty. Yep. I do remember that happening. So that's one thing I have going for me. Now, if that doesn't happen and it's still looking like this the first of the year, as soon as Tony has something get close to this, if it gets within a couple thousand, somehow it retraces and goes back up, and it hit $9.50. I may be tempted to go ahead and take a $5,000 loss and get out and rebalance and take this money and put in other positions that since the length of time that I've been in Coney, since January of 2024, I see how it's going. Now, 2024, under a different administration, Coney was doing just fine. It was making money. It's only been since 2025 that Coney hasn't been making money. It just changed in 20. Go back and look at the dividend payouts. I'm not saying that, being yay or nay with any one administration. I'm just mentioning the results that I see. All right, moving on. My Charles Swap account. All right, you can see here that a total cost basis at $6,625. Our market value is at $5,011. All right, so we're down $1,600 in my cash account, and that does not concern me not one bit, because I don't have to worry about any margin or anything in this account. It's really me getting the dividends and building this position, trying to buy the positions that I have. As long as this price is down below my average cost, then I'm putting into that position, bringing down my average cost. All right. Um, so it doesn't concern me how far it dropped when it's a cash count. If it's margin, then yeah, I'm a little bit more attentive, because I gotta trade a little more carefully. But when it's just my money and it's just cash, nothing. All I need is more dry powder to be added and building these positions up, getting these discounts, because I know these positions are going to have some upward trend, and we'll be back. But the ultimate goal is just to get this count to where it's paying about $1,100 a month, and then we can set auto payments for 2 payments, and we're good. That's the goal for that account. Now, right quickly, I'm going to show you this other website that I was telling you all about, and then we'll go to my Excel sheet, right? So here we are. This website is called, some of you may have heard of it. I don't think I've ever heard of it until yesterday, I think it was. It's called TopDividendETF.com. All right. It says the curated listed features 100 of the top dividends ETF handpicked for their strong potential in dividend investing. The only accurate listed update daily, 100% free. All right. It says the dividend yield. All information is sourced from public data and are as accurate as possible, yet market data can change dramatically. Grades is or are based on things like yield, fund provider, price decay, and other metrics. Grades are not buy or sell signals and are opinion based. Price decay. Price decay is based on if the ETF has decreased in price or not since inception. Not since inception, okay? Price decay reference price per share only and is not a buy sell. Voting. Voting allows the community to pick the best dividend ETF each week, not a buy or sell signal. This site tool is for entertainment purposes only. Votes collected until 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every Friday, and winners are announced on top dividend ETFs. So, what I'm thinking, this is more of ETF community base, where people who know about this website, they go in here and they give it a vote like that. See, it went to 25. Cast a vote. Now, did I just provide bad information? Probably, but I like Platy. So you click on Platy, you can click on it. It tells you the current yield, price decay. It says no, and it says it's got 667 million assets under management. They gave it a grade of C minus. All right, so if you get the best grade, it's going to be for RobinHood, HOOW, Round Hill ETF, 114% yield, and it has a grade B. That has the most votes. The highest grade goes to look like Hui of YieldMax. It has a minus A. Well, that one minus A is not actually, it would be BTCI of Neos and TSII of Reg Shares. Both of those have a grade of A. And Curve, KQQQ, and Rex, NVIDIA, and Robinhood, Hui have a negative A minus, a minus A or A minus, right? So these are likely votes from the community of you guys, people like you all that are sharing this, right? So I just thought I would share. You can put in the ticker. Let's see. Yep, pulls it up by ticker. I didn't pull up. Oh, clear all that out. All right. Well, oh, there we go. So it's saying yes, this has a price decay. People have voted 14%. Now I don't know. Oh, I guess I don't know. I don't know how you get the yes or no on there. I guess you go here, right, and then you cast your vote like that. I guess that's how it's done. I'm not sure. But anyway, I wanted to share that with you all. All right. So it says the winners are announced here at this Twitter website. There are 1,825 followers. All right. So this was October the 12th. Let's see if that's the most recent one. November the 8th. Like it's the most recent one. It says 100 of blah, 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 blah. It says 100 of dividends investor voted on their top dividend ETF today. I am kind of shocked to see which names are leading the polls. See. So that's the results of that. So if you all want to go there and give you all's opinion, feel free to do so. All right. All right. Now let's get to our Excel spreadsheet so y'all can see how I've been handling my finances. All right. So October, I'm not October. This is November. November. All right, so our active income, we receive $1,428.60. All right, so normally that would have been about 19. If we look at all these, it would have been about 19. So we did turn our dividends back on. All right, hold on just a second. I got a family member. All right, that was my dad. I had to take that call. All right, so as I was saying, $1,428. We turned back on our dependents, and I didn't take enough, even though they took their normal out and I had extra. I got to take some more. At least another $400, right? All right. All right. So our dividends for this week, well, that brings our dividends for this week. We got $1,863.92. All right. So I'm assuming that may be our average. This is excluding one position, right? 1863. We can't, it's gonna fluctuate every month, but let's say that's average, right? So that's looking at about $7,400 a month. All right. So that's not including our 1,600 shares of ICOI, right? Oops, excuse me. So this is just hypothetically. Hypothetically. All right. So 1,600 shares. It last paid out 394. So that's 6,300 shares was 74.72. So potentially this month we could be looking at about $14,000 in dividends. Now, if things picks back up for a period of time, these dividends will pick up as well. So could be more, it could be less. That's just a rough estimate. We don't know. All right. All right. So total active income for the year is $44,805 minus our tithes. All right. Our total passive income now sits at $92,231. So, as it looks right now, we will be meeting our target of having at least $100,000 in dividend for the year. That is awesome. I don't think at the first of the year I probably thought that was a possible thing, but that's awesome. All right. So our total active and passive income now sits at $137,036.54. Average income is 44,395. Passive income now sits at an average of, wait a minute, let's make sure we got that right. Yep, six. Yeah, that's that right. Six. C. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think that's right. Nope, hold on. Hold on. Hold on. That ain't right. So that should be B11. All right. Yep. No, it should be more than that. That is, hold on. All right. So let's see here. Right now that's saying that ain't right. So that should be B12. Okay. Hold on, people. Hold on here. Okay. And so this should be as well. This should be 12. All right. Yep. Okay. All right. Let's get it right. Thank you all for the correction. Yeah. Okay. All right. So average average active incomes at $4,073, and our passive average is at 8,384 because we got to include the most accurate, most recent months. And I think we was looking at it being um, we was looking at it being October, which is the 10th month, right? But we didn't have the correct sale. We had the wrong sales in there. All right, so we got that straight. All right. All right, so our prior margin balance was at $114,888.39. It now sits at $114,055.45. It had gotten down to 92,000, but we took the profit plus the money that we borrowed and repurchased Coney, ICOI, and Palantir. All right. Alrighty. So Robinhood goes at $50. Robinhood interest is at 3,524. Average is 320. All right. All right. Let's see here. We didn't we checked this last night, and once again we wasn't able to get into the website. If y'all want to bear with me, I will pause this video and we will see if I can get that updated. All right. So this is gonna be 21 371.52. Ready? All right. And our the second part of this year, our second 6 months of this year, is our total interest is at $11,997 for a combined $25,276 that we given away when it could have been invested. All right, moving right along. All right. Once again, our Robinhood deposit is at $1,885.92. Our Robinhood withdrawal year to date is at $11,485.22. All right. Coney. Our Coney now, our Coney dividend now sets at $71,364.98. We are $56,195 away from having house money. So we are 56% away or complete, however you want to put it. ICOI, nothing has changed because that is a monthly paying dividend, so it's still as well as is. Misty, now we have $24,014.95 in Misty. We are $2,127.65 away from having house money. Misty, that is 92% complete. OT, we now have $4,343.19. We are $6,505 away. That is 40% complete. So combined, our top four position, we have dividends of $103,655.07. We are $118,796 away, 47% complete from having house money for all four positions. All right. All right. So let's move right along. All right. Let's see what we got. All right. Touch bases on this right quick. I ain't really just looked at it. I clicked on and refreshed because I saw her video pop-ups and there's been some changes. So one of the changes that I noticed right away is you can actually key in the ticker symbol. I said, let's refresh this. All right. Boom. Like that. You can look for this if you're looking for a particular symbol that you know. Like that. Boom. Pop up. You say, okay, I want to invest 50,000 in that. What does that look like? So weekly that looks like about $860. Monthly that looks about $3,726 based on the last stock price and the dividend payout the last time. All right. And she's got these maximum and minimums. I'm assuming these are yield percentages. I don't know for sure. But anyway, I just came across it. All right. Next. Divi tracker. All right. Divi tracker says, let's refresh, make sure. All right. Divi tracker says our annual dividends are $179,000 for $14,981 per month, making $3,457 per week, which is really, really good for a young individual like me. I say young, I'm not young, but some may say I am, some may say I'm not. All right. So so what did I hold on, let me pull this up right here. I think we had it at one point in time. Let's see here. Where does I have it? Average cost, new average cost. Oh, I thought I had it pulled up. Hold on 1 second, bear with me. Nope. Must have pulled it up somewhere else. I was gonna read something for you all, but I don't see it. Anyway. All right. All right. So where are we? So you can see our account is down $105,000. We are down 39%. We did pull back Friday, almost 3% for $4,749. Um, so invested, we have 269,000. If you say 269,000 minus this 114 and minus this 105, that should give this balance here 49. So if we get this margin taken care of, we will add that. So you're looking at 50 into that. So that would be almost 160,000. I mean, no, 170,000. All right. All right. So 3 days until our next dividend, which is going to be TSYY, estimated to be 20 cents, $13.75. I'm sure that's what it was the prior time because they don't never know the new dividend. They always base it on the prior distribution. All righty. All right. Let's move on. Snowball Analytics. All right. So we're going to make this quick. All right. You can see our dividends here. These greens, even though I may be down, this shows even with the gain being lost, this shows total profit. So we do have small total profits, 13 here. Well, let's just get to the whole nutshell. We got $125,620 in dividend since we've been doing this, right? And our total profit sits at 20,000, which is not something to really to be like, look what I'm doing with these dividends. I got 125,000. I'm making almost now $14,000 a month. But when you do that minus um, the gain, it's only a true value of $21,000 in profit. hmm But I just started making 14, so we can't say that I was making about 8, and then we got into ICOI that bumped it up, and I doubled that position week 4 last. So we'll see how it is. Definitely going into 2026. Um, I don't like it being at 14. What was that at? Don't like this being at 14. We was hoping we would be at 17 to 20. But we will be okay with it being at 15. But we want it to be more, right? All right. All right. Here's another retire early with the dividend invest. He said, I retire early with dividend investing at 37. All right. This is Jake. We're going to like Jake's. He's got 19 comments. All right. So I'm going to pause this video. I'm going to you all can pause it. I'm gonna pause it for 5 seconds and then I'll move on. But if you all want to read this, feel free. All right, I'll move it down. All right, I'll move it down. So you all can just pause the video. And if your screen is big enough to read it, read it. If not, then just skip it. All right. All right, and here are the comments. All right. Right. All right. All right. So that is our testimonial from Snowball Analytics community. Somebody's writing these articles. All right. Let's. All right. So this is my Twitter account, YieldMaxMindset. Some of you may already know that. What was I? It was one of these people out here that I got that information from. I believe this is someone who. Let's make sure this is her. I think this is her, Alex. She has some good information. She shares some of her investment strategies. She posts this out here. All right, let's get to our Q&A. Man, we about to get out of here tonight. Yes, y'all can't hold me back tonight. Let's see here. All right, Craven God says, do you have a video on how to pay back the margin? Cause I was thinking about using margin. I said, my buddy Chat GPT will try to explain it to you. And he says, mindset, I don't know if I should be thinking, excuse me, I don't know if I should be thanking you or Chat GPT, but really helpful. All right, so here's the information that I shared with him from Chat GPT. If you all want to read it, I'm gonna just do like we did. Oh, let's see here. What is? Let's see here. Let's make it bigger.
So check this out.
No, didn't make it bigger. Wait a minute. Does it make it bigger here? Let's see. Oh, no, didn't make it bigger. I don't think it did. I don't think it did. Really? Yeah, it did a little bit. So.
Alrighty.
Oh, let's look. I like this video. I'm gonna like it. That's something y'all should do when y'all watch videos. Hit that like button. I'm gonna do it because I think the guy's all right. He don't know what he's talking about half the time, but he all right. All right. So we got it right there. I don't know if I can make these fonts bigger. Let's see. I can. All right. Great. Great. All right. Here we go. We're gonna pause it and let you all read. 5 seconds. All right. Number 2. 3. All right. Number 4. Number 4. There we go. All right. Number 5. All right. So his question again was, do you have a video on how to pay back the margin? Because I was thinking about using margin. And so this is Chat GPT explaining how Robinhood margin is used, um, understanding what paying back margin means, how much margin repayment works automatically, how to repay margin manually, reduce debt faster, interest, interest, interest and timing if you don't pay it back. And then it gave a quick example. So I hope that was helpful for those that might be having similar questions. All right. moving right along. All right. Mike Lesser. He says, another awesome week review, homie. The comment banter is hilarious and informative. I wasn't aware of Netflix doing a split, and these fonts sure do seem small all of a sudden. um, Doing a split, but I just might use 1K of free interest in Robinhood money today for it. Thanks. I got other plans to make with my big Tuesday dividend, so that's spoken for already. I said, thank you, sir. Mike. It's always a pleasure hearing from you on your insightfulness. Thank you very much. Kelly says, love the video. I'm all out of YieldMax, all reg shares and round hill only. Only have ulti. I said, Kelly, I think you will do very well with those ETFs. No complaints. All right. Right along. All right. Oki says, hey, this video has no volume. What happened? I can't hear anything. I said, thank you for letting me know. I didn't realize I recorded with the mic turned down. My bad. Kelly said, today is a red day. I'm buying and buying. And of course, I guess it was, this was, so that was Tuesday. No, I says, yeah, so it says Thursday. So that video was done Tuesday for Thursday, if I'm not mistaken. That is group one. Yes, that was done Tuesday for Thursday. So that was Tuesday. Yeah, it recovered. He got in there Tuesday. It recovered some, and then it went down Thursday and Friday. All right. Gary says the market has been in a red for the last several days. When there's blood in the streets and fear, it's time for a man to go in and pick up all the dividends and stocks, everything on sale, people. That is true. Dave, the lender, says the overall market only dropped 2%. You haven't seen anything yet if you think this is blood. Mike says many lost 7 to 10% though. Yep, it sure is. I loaded up on AMDW, $5 cheaper. I said, gentlemen, we got a little run. We got a little run up late Friday. Thank the Lord. I said 2% is considered a significant intraday short-term loss, but not a cause for panic. A market correction of 10% or a bear market correction of 20% would be crazy. Now, each individual is affected different based on the specific holdings in your account. With many major positions, with my major many positions in crypto funds like Coney, ICY, Misty, I'm affected differently than someone else who more diversified. Mike says, yes, praise the Lord on the run up. all our glory and success in life comes from God. Yes, my brother. Praise the Lord. Mike says, I hope Tuesday bloodbath drop didn't hurt you too much, my friend. Checking in on you. He said it got low, but no margin. And I was doing good. I was doing good. Yeah, I was like, oh, I got this. And then Wednesday, well, I was like, yeah, we're doing good. I said, which I don't mind it dropping costs. It's if I had buying power, I'd be stealing. He said, glad to hear, my dude. Cool. Oh, what a difference a little time makes. Nope. What? All right, let's get to the shorts because I dropped a few of those. Let's see here. That was 8 days ago. So all that is old news. And that was on ICOI. All right. Let's keep it moving. 8 days ago. Let's keep it moving. Where we at? Right here. Count deficit. All right. Futuristic Gamer says, I pulled out of YieldMax and started buying Neo's ETFs. I made my money back and them some on and then some. I'm chilling. I said, I'm glad to hear that you are out there making money regardless of what phones you're using. That's the main thing, is getting passive income. Let's see here. Sharif is blessed. Down 20K in 3 months. Let us hope this turns around tomorrow. I'm sure it will. We just gotta get time. I've gone down 20K, up 20K, down 30K, any kind of way you call it. He says, um, God gonna keep blessing us, brother. Facts, one day at a time. It's coming, turning around this week. I said, facts. God is the truth. Mr. Dark Assassin 7. Mr. Dark Assassin 7 says, do you think Coney can go back up in price? Everything Max Dividend says, nah. Dark Assassin says, so should I just sell? Tales of Julio says, never again. Never again when I get into Coney. I won't do it. Uh, Dave the lender says, Coney is junk. The NAV erosion is real and upside is very minimal. If crypto winter hits, Coney will turn into the next Murney, producing almost nothing. I said, are you talking about going back up to $20? I'm not sure if it can get to $20. I said it would take some major catalyst to push it back up. It would take Bitcoin actually having a real bull run and Coinbase having a good catalyst. But I'll never say never. But in the short term, I'm just hoping that it'll get back to $8. In the long term, in the short term, I can't see it getting back to $20 unless we have a big or a very long sustaining bull run. I would not be recommending Coney. He says, yeah, I was mainly holding YieldMax as a beginner and everything went down in price. I sold out of Misty Coney in OT. Okay. Alrighty. Let's see here. That's funny says, are we in the same? We are in the same boat. I said, now that's funny. We in the same boat. I was, making a play on his name. He laughed back. Mike Lester says, man, this week is bad. Oh, excuse me. Let me put it in Mike's voice. Man, this week is bad. I'm down 7K in profits overall. The orange dude needs to open the government back up, bro. Back up pronto and stop acting like a baby, man. Cause he didn't get his way. I said, my guy, he'll get that seven. I meant to say, you'll get that. My guy, you'll get that 7K back in a few days of green run up. Being down just 7K means you've done a good job of selecting the ETFs. Oh, he's replied. He said, thanks, my dude. I sure did. It took a lot of studying. I'm still hoping to hit 100K by end year, but unless there's a couple of massive pop off that stick, then I'll probably only reach 90K or 95. Laughing out loud. I'm very close to reaching my goal to point where I don't need to buy any more shares. Just watch it and maintain it. Let's see here. He said they reached a temp deal. That's what I, yeah, that's right. They reached a temp deal on something to end the government shutdown, and Trump spewing empty promise again on his social media about giving lower income people 2K. So that's a plus. That could give us a few green days. All right, let's see here. Rosario says, let it keep going down. I'll keep adding my position in the meantime. Yeah, if you just getting in this Rosario and you getting in here while on the pullback, man, you're getting in at a low. And if these things retrace back up, man, you're gonna be collecting dividends and being in instant profit, in my opinion. Not financial advice. All right. Up to the right, not up to the left. Wow. Mile count was down 2.5%, and I'm still complaining. I says, and you should. No one likes seeing their account at any amount. Um, Craven God says, man, son, it's a journey. I said it's a process. We will get there to the destination at some point. He Washington says, praying that we get a recovery tomorrow so that we don't all get the margin call. The market has been beat down this week, so there's a good chance people may buy in tomorrow, but of course, it's not guaranteed. But we're going to stay positive, and it's not going to go up, and you're not getting that margin call. Amen. Well, we all know I got that margin call, right? Unfortunately. Uh, Lisa Gayhart says, jobless down the most in 25 years, liquidity problems in the banks, and some tech companies have bad earnings. He says, golden age has started. Laughing out loud, laughing out loud. Sounds like a triple threat from where I gather. Sounds like sarcasm to me. Victor Miser says, GG. Not sure what that means, but GJ. Jatar says, imagine you do not log in and lose all the stuff over 2 days. Dave the Leonard says, that's why you diversify. I agree with him on diversifying. I'm aware. So don't follow my strategy. All right. If 80% of his if 80% of his portfolio is based on one underlying asset, he is blessed he didn't get completely wiped out. Um, Jakar says, "Let us let us believe that people with margin never have to sell it all because it always a load. Let us believe that people with margin never have to sell it all because it is always a loaded bomb to go off. The cash you need on hand is always just sitting there for a bigger crash. Unless you would go way lower yield, then the companies would appreciate and make their dividends go higher over time. I'm not sure what that was saying. All right. MG says up 30K from 150 share sale. How in the world does any of this work? I'm lost. I said, yeah, that's not quite how it works. I tried to explain. Oh, I got ChatGPT trying to give it. All right, boom. Here's some more explanation from ChatGPT. All right. I'm gonna pause it just in case some of you might be reading this. Right. Let's see here. Let's see if we can make it bigger. All right, gang. Let's see. Water there. Here we go. 5 seconds. Mm, 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 mm. All right, number 2. Mm, 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 mm. Number 3. Mm, 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 mm. Number 4. Mm, 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 mm. Number 5. All right, number 6. All right, let's get back to it. Mm, 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 mm. All right, that was all of that. Short. All right, I think, let's see, this one. Excuse me. All right, next, Vertex says, do dividends funds give a decent return? Do you have a spreadsheet of your total capital over the past year and capital investment or an estimated total percentage capital return on investments? And I said, yes, watch this video. It's in my spreadsheet information. So I put the link to last week's video. Hopefully it has some information you're looking for. Kelly said, I'm buying Palantir, RobinHood, sold my Coney. I said, sound like a great move getting out and get into those two positions. While they're down on the recovery, you should be in tremendous profit. Hernandez says, I was worried I would get margin call, but I didn't. I must be doing something right. I said, that is a great to hear. That is great to hear. I like it would not have gotten margin call, but I took the money from Palantir that I sold and bought these positions and got back into Palantir. So if I had stood still, I think I would have had enough buffer to not be affected. Anthony says, rough. T. Washington says, dang, man. I said, it's all good. I didn't have to sell in my dividend position. Kelly said, these last 3 days have been rough. I said, yes. There was last week. Yes, there was last week. What I'm trying to say here? I'm not even trying to read what I tried to say there. All right. Next. All right. Dividend Seth says, didn't didn't you get into ICOI and you are already down 11,000? I said, that is right, my brother. You saw it correctly. He says, I watch and like all your posts. That stuff is crazy. I says, much appreciated you viewing my content. If my Robinhood account was a cash only account, I would not have cared how much the dip would have been because I would have been buying and not selling. And if I had dry powder, I would have been loading up on positions. But since I have a margin account, I do have to err on the side of caution. Lamont says, please put BMNR on your watch list. Not a dividend stock, but Cathy Woods and JP Morgan are buying it. Possible for a large growth. Not financial advice, but let's just say those big they don't lose money. Those big names don't buy like that to lose money. I said, thank you, sir, for the information. I'm always listening and I'm always willing to listen and look forward to when others provide information. I have been hearing great things about that particular stock from Ken Grace and Chris Saint and stocks with Josh. Paul said, bro, can I have one SOL? I don't know what he was trying to say here. I don't know what he was trying to say here. I'm a good friend. Mike says, glad to hear we both got some recovery dividends today. I still got 5K to hopefully make up for next week to be where I was. This week has been a really bad dream. I said, you will. Right now, you should be up almost 3K right now, at least. But of course, that doesn't matter to the market actually opens. He said, well, yeah, I know overall profit doesn't matter cause about the long haul dividend game, but also do factor in that our country is very unstable and shambles with possible anti what as antichrist as president. Okay. So due to that, I am extremely careful with all my decisions I make. Gotta stay several steps ahead of all profits if need to in case stuff gets worse. Okay, that's very true. All right, and then he says there could easily be a civil war or world war or both simultaneously the way things are going, and all orange man does is offer empty promises to people, which much makes them mad, so stocks suffer. I checked and I did get another boost up. I may put buying on hold until after the holidays and just collect for a while. I like it. I like it. I like it. Yeah. Um that's my plan. I did make them that one more purchase that I was talking about. Um and that's pretty much what I was going to be doing is sitting still. I did, however, wanted to get some Netflix. But other than that, I was going to pretty much sit still going into the first year, unless there was some opportunities I couldn't pass up. Okay, that's it. I don't think I did any of these posts. I don't think I responded to any of these posts. Let's see here. I don't think I did. Did I do that? Yeah, I don't think I responded to any of these posts. So I may just verbalize this. Okay, we got some. Why you so, dude? Oh, that's 7 days ago. He's talking about Palantir. I'm glad. Oh, let's go back to there. So he said, "Why, why you so, dude?" Well, looking at it in hindsight, it's a good thing that I did sell my Palantir at that time. Palantir may be up right now. Oh, let's see, where is it at? Well, we have to do this. Let's see what Palantir is at right now. Let's go PLTR. Let's see if it's up. Is it moving? 188, 184. So it's up $6. So it's still not up. So I got in at average price of 196. Ooh, boy, it'd be nice to get in, get a few shares tomorrow, but I sold at a loss, so I'm just gonna probably wait. All right. What was I at? All right. So let's see. Is this all right? Rick says thanks. I say you're welcome. Stay tuned. Let's see where this journey takes us. Well, I will have a lot of ups and downs and losses. Victimizer says post losses, please. I said hopefully you watched the last few YouTube shorts. If not, take a look at everything in there. And if that's not enough, check out this video. All right. Shoot, we about to be out of here. All right. Classic 4850 says, I got my dividends this morning. I said, are you telling me that you got your dividends on Saturday morning? User says, how do you deal with NAV erosion? Several people liked his comment. Um, Gamer says, you can dollar cost average down. You need you need to invest consistently. I agree with him. But I said, how do I deal with NAV erosion? I said, this might sound crazy, but as soon as I invest money into the market, I consider it already lost. Boom, mind blowing. I really not concerned about the initial capital investment. I'm here long term for total return. All right. That is it. I think I covered everything I want, right? If I forgot something, I'll remember tomorrow, and then tomorrow will be too late. All right. All right, this is YieldMax Mindset. Should you happen to be listening to this video to now, which is not an hour and 45 minutes, like and share, like, dislike, and share. I'm out.